Hello and welcome to Forgotten Pompey's first YouTube video. Today we're going to be looking at the replies of a tweet I sent out a few days ago. I tweeted out, "Right Pompey fans, quote this tweet and tell me what you're saying. Your first Pompey hero, your most underrated player ever, your most overrated player ever, your favourite manager, your most hated manager, and your favourite goal." Speaking of Twitter, head down to the description, click the link, give us a follow for regular nostalgia, goals and famous Pompey moments. So in this video, as I said, we're going to be rating your replies. I'm going to be ranking these into 4 different tiers. So first one, spot on. Then we got decent, fair, and what are you thinking? Please, if you don't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and push the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Now let's get into the video, so play the intro. So first up we have Vaughan Medway. His first Pompey hero was Paul Walsh. Can't argue with that. Cannot argue with that. Most underrated player ever was Thomas Torgerson. Oh, was Thomas Torgerson underrated? Now I remember him getting a good amount of goals when Steve Claridge became player manager and had some really good games. Underrated, I would probably say people about right with him. You know, yeah, I'll disagree with that. Most overrated player ever, Nigel Quasey. Yes, 100%. I don't care who you are watching this video. If you're a Pompey fan and you're around at them times, you liked Nigel Quasey. You can say he didn't, so you're blue in the face. But you did. Obviously, once he went down the road, he became one of the most hated players, and rightly so. But you did rate him, so yes, I totally agree with that. Your favourite manager, Alan Ball. Yep, my favourite manager. Completely agree. Your most hated manager, Terry Fenwick. Definitely one of the worst managers we've had. I would say I don't understand to this day how he stayed in the job as long as he did. Your favourite goal, Matty Taylor's goal against Leicester the championship year. Play the goal. And what a goal it was. What a goal it was. Very important goal. I rate this tweet decent. I would have, if it weren't for Thomas Torgerson, probably would have been spot on, but I'm definitely giving it a decent rating. Next up we have Lee Bassett, and Lee says his first Pompey hero is David James, top quality player, cannot argue with that. Most underrated player, Brian Prisk. Now this is what I'm talking about. Brian Prisk is a player that hardly anyone ever mentions, but what a player he was. Massive part of why we stayed up that season in the 05-06, especially when Redknapp come back. He really established himself in the team, put in some fantastic performances. I highly agree that he is very underrated. Overrated, John Utaka. See, now this is where overrated can get complicated because everyone's got different opinions on what they think overrated means. Could it mean the fans overrated him? Is it because we overspent on him? Is it because the manager really rated him? And we can understand why. But Johnny Tucker is definitely one of those that are 100% overrated. Not only did he not really perform that well, but yet kept getting picked by multiple managers. But we paid 7 mil for a man who, for me, was worth nowhere near that. Favourite manager, Alan Ball. Yep, totally agree. Hated manager, Richie Barker. Yeah, probably is the worst manager we've ever had. Favourite goal, David Norris. Play the goal.
Long ball into the edge of the box. Resher wins his header. A shot on goal. Oh, what a goal!
I'm sure that goal will come up many more times and you won't mind rewatching it again and again and again. Or Matty Taylor's goal against Sunderland. Play the goal.
Third.
Yeah, another cracking goal that we'll probably see a few more times. I would rate this spot on, absolutely spot on. Can't argue with any of that. Next up, we have Shaun Crawford. His first Pompey hero was Paul Merson / Linvoy Primus. Again, can't argue, probably Paul Merson. Always, one day he's my favourite player, next day is Robert Prozinecki. He's a true hero, absolutely. And Linvoy, not only for, you know, absolutely performing well expected than what we ever thought he could. That tackle against Wayne Rooney, never forget that. Just a fantastic player. Most underrated player, Linvoy, yep, as I just said. No one expected him to do what he did. Very underrated. Most overrated player, Defoe. Oh, controversial. Had a very good goal scoring record for Pompey. Overrated. Definitely disliked. Don't know if I agree with overrated just because he did score a lot of goals for us in the amount of time he was here. Favourite manager? Or another controversial one, Harry Redknapp. Now, for me personally, I don't like the man. Yes, he brought us the Premier League and the FA Cup, but I just can't forgive him the way he treated the club twice. I can't. So I'd have to disagree. Most hated manager, Barker, yep. Probably the worst manager we've had. Your favourite goal, here it comes again, guys. Norris versus Scum. Play the video.
To the edge of the box, Resha wins his header. A shot on goal. Oh, what a goal!
Or Piquion versus Spurs. Yep. Yeah, love that moment. One of my favourite moments. Watching Pompey at Wembley, seeing that goal go in.
In by Wilson, down by Boateng. Piquion!
I'll give that fair. I'll give that a fair because, you know, I understand Defoe and I understand Redknapp. So I'll give that a fair. Next one is from Phil. And his first Pompey hero is Alan Bailey. Now, I wish I'd see, you know, I have seen videos and goals, obviously, of Alan Bailey in the hair, in a mullet. But, you know, it's a shame one of them players didn't get to see, but the 2 last-minute goals against Oxford and promotion-winning goal against Southend, you know, I totally understand why he's a hero. Your most underrated player, Martin Cool. Now, yeah, I've seen a lot of footage of Martin Cool, and he doesn't really ever get the mentions he probably deserves, so I have to agree with that. Most overrated player, wow, Lassana Diarra. I'm sorry, mate. Absolutely, nah. No way. That's baffled my mind. One of the best players I've ever seen in Pompey shirt. Probably the greatest player I've ever seen in Pompey shirt. And yet, you think he's overrated. Each their own. I understand. As I said, views are my own. You know, it's just a bit of fun. But I have to totally disagree with you there. Favourite manager, Jim Smith. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Your most hated manager, Richard Barker. Yep, again, not surprised. Your favourite goal, of course, Bailey's second goal against Oxford. Play the goal.
Bailey's close again. Oh my word!
I have to rate this. I'm just gonna have to give it. Just because of Lassana Diarra, for me, I'm giving this. What are you thinking? Everything else I agree with, but that one, nah, it's got to go with what you're thinking. Next up, we have South Coast Scenes. And his hero was Shaka Hislop. Yep, can't disagree with that. Great goalkeeper, especially the way he was dropped for Kostas Chilkias. Still baffles my mind. Underrated, Ollie Hawkins. Yep, I will argue with anyone about Ollie Hawkins. The season where we were top of the league, he was a big reason why. There's no coincidence that once he got injured and taken out of the team, he was replaced with Bogle. He was terrible, in my opinion. That Lowe and Curtis goals dried up. You know, the man, I think, got something like 14 goal contributions in terms of goals, assists, and key passes. You know, he made that team work, and people couldn't see it. Fair enough, I do understand. But yeah, I totally agree. Underrated. Overrated, Pittman. Oh, controversial. Nah, not overrated. He scored 25 goals in his first season. How can you? Nah, sorry, I don't agree with that. Favourite manager, Paul Cook. Yep, loved it. As I said before, loved the man. Least favourite manager, yeah, not surprised again. Richie Barker, probably Him and Jacket probably the most disliked, I'd probably say. Favourite goal, Jamal Lowe's goal at Wembley. Play the goal.
Not only his tackles, but the ball at his feet as well. It's Jamal Lowe. McLaughlin came off his line. And Jamal Lowe!
I'll give this a fair. I'd rate it a fair. Just because, you know, if that's how you feel about Pittman, that's fine. The last year he had, 2 years he had, he wasn't at the same standards, but that's fine. I'll fair that. That's fair. So next up we have James, and his first Pompey hero was Alan Knight. Yeah, great goalkeeper, true legend, can't deny that. Absolutely respect that. The most underrated player ever, Arjun Dazoo. Was he underrated? See, that's one of the ones where what way you're looking at it in terms of underrated, because Pompey fans loved him. Was he underrated because of the way he left? Because he wasn't given a new contract? I can't see why anyone thought he was underrated, but if that's how you feel, James, totally respect that. Most overrated player, Lee Chapman. Yeah, he was overrated, wasn't he? 100% agree with that. Really badly. He came in with a lot of expectation, and he certainly didn't live up to it. Your favourite manager, Alan Ball. Yep, as I said, my favourite manager of all time. Your most hated manager, Richie Barker. Yeah, come up how many times now? 4 to 6 times. And your favourite goal, any Pompey goal. Interesting. How about this goal? Is this goal any good for you?
Now Steve Stone with a chance to cross. Flick goalwards, it's an own goal from Popovic.
I'd have to rate that spot on. I agree with everything in this tweet. Yep. I hope you enjoyed the goal. So next up we have Simon Doyle. And he says Mark Hateley was his Pompey hero. For me, I've only ever seen one goal of Mark Hateley's, and you know, I hear a lot about Mark Hateley, and I've got to be really careful what I'm saying right now, because I'm pretty sure the Pompey dads, as they're referred to by Pompey Pedro on Twitter, will come trying to find where I live. But for a lot of us, he's a Portsmouth myth. You know, I love to see more footage. I've been searching, but, you know, I understand, you know, surely not everyone can be wrong. So, respect it. Most underrated, Warren Neal. Yeah, well, again, another player, a bit like Brian Prisk, doesn't get the mentions that that he should and deservedly should. You know, what a pass for Darren Anderson's goal, you know, against Liverpool in the FA Cup. Fantastic. Overrated, Nico Kranja. Oh, no. That man had pure talent that not many players that we've had have been able to do. I used to argue with people that there was a guy who used to sit behind me in the North Stand when I used to sit there who just hated him. He would score and wouldn't celebrate. No, he was a quality player, absolute quality player. Favourite manager, Jim Smith. Yep, agree. Hated John Gregory. Yes, totally agree with that. Again, not many people seem to ever bring him up, but yeah, that's a good one, Simon. Favourite goal, probably the best limbs of all time. And no, I'll take that back. The best limbs of all time of any club and anywhere in the world. I dare any football fan to find limbs better than this goal, and that's Darren Anderson's against Liverpool. Happily, I will play that goal.
Warren Neal. Oh, that's a good-looking ball. It's Anderton. A real chance for Pompey. Darren Anderton. It's there. Portsmouth are in the lead in the semi-final, and it's the 20-year-old prospect Darren Anderton.
So I'm going to give this a rating of, it's difficult. So I've never seen Mark Hateley other than one goal. You put Kranja as your overrated player, which I can't agree with. But everything else is spot on. I'm going to give this a fair. I'll give it a fair. My ratings to your replies to my tweet. If you disagree with any of my comments and ratings, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Just remember that my comments are just my views and it's only a bit of fun. If this video hits more than 10 likes, I will do a second part as I have plenty more replies to that tweet. So if you do want to see a second part, or maybe even a third, please hit the like button so I know that's what sort of content you want to watch. Next video will be me rating the best players by each shirt number from 1 to 11. So if you're interested, please hit the subscribe button, push the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you again for all the support. Play up Pompey.